After spending 3 months in Bedford for a residency over the summer in July, August, September of 2007, the work I made specific works for this show. So I wanted to have it as really open. I had no kind of preconceptions of what I was going to do or make for this exhibition. It was all about just coming here and kind of having a think and having a look at what it is, this place. And so it was a great opportunity to kind of think differently to what I was normally doing in my practice. Obviously, with a short period of time, it's you can never get a true sense of a place, but you certainly do, as an outsider, get an outsider look. You have a different perspective on a place. So I made two particular works here in my time, one being Souvenirs of Bedford, and the other is Photographic Girls. Very separate works, very different. One much more in keeping with the work I've done before, and the other is quite a new approach. Souvenirs of Bedford was a response to my time spent here looking through the second-hand shops that are around the town, and of which there are loads and loads. There's tons of them. So I was quite surprised that on the high streets and spaces there are a lot of these second-hand, almost the secondary market. You've got your chains, and then you've got these other where it's far more interesting, actually. Those kind of smaller bargains can be had in these places. And I, after a while, realised that there were a lot of, in the bric-a-brac section, a lot of souvenirs that made their ways into these shops, and many of them were from places elsewhere, obviously. So this got me thinking about the idea of why would anyone want to buy a souvenir of a place that they're not in? So they kind of are redundant in that sense. They kind of have a sense of failure by just being from another place, but on sale in Bedford. So that really interests me. So I started really kind of focusing on the idea of getting particular souvenirs, these mementos of travel, either for exotic places to very, very close by places, and started buying them and collecting them from the places. I gathered quite a number of these, and didn't really know what I was going to do with them, or what was my approach, or what the reason for this was. It's just I quite liked the idea of these things being totally obsolete, being functionless, and being quite valueless in some ways, which got me thinking about I guess the currency of things. And there was a couple of, I started to do some reading about the idea of souvenirs and objects. One being a great book called On Longing by Susan Stewart, where the title of the exhibition comes from, The Secret Lives of Things. And the other would be Jan Baudrillard, and his also discussion about the idea of objects and their value and the economics of things. I decided to make a series of photographs of these objects, and I photographed them all as if they were postcards, museum postcards. So giving these very, very tatty souvenirs a value, a kind of a larger value than they should have. And I quite like the idea, or I've been thinking about the idea of a gallery and the museum, and how popular museums and museum shops and museum restaurants have become over the last couple of years, and how the general public seems to come almost for the gallery shop as opposed to for the work that's in it. So my think is where I've produced a series of postcards of these souvenirs, which will be on sale in the exhibition, and very much a piece of work. They are like an addition. In the same way, the postcards act as by being displayed in the gallery as opposed to in the shop of a gallery, is a comment on this idea of economics and value of objects and and the idea of taking something away from the experience that you have in this cultural institution.